watch me sew a t-shirt. Hi, I'm Megan, welcome to my sewing space, and in today's video, I'm gonna show you how I made this t-shirt that I'm wearing. My goal for October is to practice sewing with knit stretchy fabrics and, grow some skills in that style of garment sewing. Grow some skills in sewing with that type of fabric. So this was only my third attempt sewing with a knit stretch fabric. I almost exclusively have only made anything ever out of woven fabrics that don't stretch. So I made a Jackson tee from Helen's Closet here back at the end of the winter, beginning of the spring. And then I made this sweatshirt here using the same pattern, but in this view down here, view F. So this is only my third attempt at sewing with knit stretchy fabric. And I used Simplicity pattern 8809. This is from 1999. And I used view D here. And I used the same fabric that I used for that yellow Jackson t-shirt. Unfortunately, the way that I cut that out, I did not have enough to make the full-length t-shirt that I wanted to, but I did have enough to make a crop top. I am gonna show you how I made this t-shirt using this pattern. Then I'm gonna go over what I learned, where I think I have room for improvement, what I like, and what I don't like. So let's get right into how I made this t-shirt that I'm wearing. The first thing I had to do for this t-shirt was figure out how long it was gonna be as a finished garment. So the pattern piece that I cut out was 27 inches long, and then the finished length is projected to be 23.5 inches. So that's a 4-inch difference. The length of the yellow fabric I'm using is only about 20 inches. 20 inches minus 4 is 16 inches. And I'm just using a measuring tape to see where that would fall on my body. Here are my pattern pieces cut out. It's just a front bodice, a back bodice, and 2 sleeve pieces. With right sides together, I am pinning at the side seams and at the shoulder seams. And I'm serging those both in place at 5/8 of an inch. Next, I'm just taking a couple moments to use a yarn needle to weave in my serger ends so they don't unravel. Next, I'm pinning down the neck hem. And sewing that in place with a zigzag stitch. Here's where I tried it on for the first time, and at this point I already knew that I wasn't really feeling the neckline. Next, I'm sewing some gathering stitches along the top of the sleeve, and then right sides together serging the underarm seam. Here's what my sleeves look like at this point. Next, I take several minutes to gather and ease the sleeves into the arm's eye. Pin and serge in place. And the last thing to do is hem and sew the raw edges of the sleeves and the bottom hem. here you go. Really quick and easy project. What do you guys think? Okay, so that is how I made the t-shirt. Now let's talk about the things that I learned. The first thing that I learned with some practice and trial and error was how to adjust the tension on my serger for knit fabrics. And I think I did a good job. I think that the serge lines laid nice and flat. There's no pulling, there's no like loose, uneven tension in my serging. There's no ripply seams. So that's great. So I learned how to do that. I think that I did a better job on this t-shirt letting the sewing machine do the work of feeding the fabric through the machine so you don't get those wavy edges in your stitches. I did better in some areas, like the hems of the sleeve, than I did in others, like the back hem of the shirt is kind of wavy, much more wavy than I would have hoped. So that's probably the biggest thing that I think I have room for improvement, is working on sewing those hems so they don't get that wavy finish. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how the hems and the seams of this t-shirt turned out. There's only 2 parts of this t-shirt that I'm actually not thrilled with the construction, and I don't know if it is how I did, if it was like a lack of skill on my part, or if it's the pattern. I don't like the sleeves where I had to gather the fabric to ease the arm into the arm's eye. It's just uneven, it's a little wobbly looking. I don't know if it's because I had to gather first and I didn't do a good job gathering the fabric, or if it's supposed to look like this and it's the pattern. The other part that, again, I'm not sure if it's like a lack of skill on my part or if it's the pattern. I'm not a huge fan of how the neck turned out. I feel like, you know, when it stands up straight, I think it looks okay, but when it starts relaxing, I just think it looks kind of sloppy. It easily falls open where you can see the seam. So again, I don't know if it was poor craftsmanship on my part or if it's the pattern. I honestly don't know. What I like the sleeve length. I like how soft and smooth the fabric is. I actually like the cropped length. I don't typically wear crop tops. I do not buy crop tops. The only reason that I made this a crop top is because that's what I had the fabric for. But I do like how the cropped version turned out. Do I love this t-shirt? Not really. Am I gonna wear it all the time? I don't know. I think I will definitely wear it at least a couple dozen times. If nothing more, I'll wear it to bed or around my house. I think I'll wear it because I made it and it's so soft and comfortable, not so much because I think it looks great. The one thing that I do want to say is that I think for a 3rd attempt at sewing with stretchy fabric that I did a pretty good job, and I'm proud of myself for stepping out of my comfort zone and endeavoring to learn something new. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!